Seth Widener here. Recently I've been playing a lot with these casting resins. I've been trying a few things, trying to make some coasters. I've had a few issues with them. I'll show you the issues I've had and how I've resolved them. The main issue is heat. Whenever something hot is set on them, like a coffee cup, they tend to soften up a little bit and sag. So to solve that, I've taken some plexiglass and cut it into just under 4 inches square. You can get this in 8x10 sheets for just a couple dollars. So I cut them into these squares, and the ones that I'm putting vinyl in, I've applied the vinyl to the face of that after peeling off the protective cover. I apply the vinyl to the face of it, and then I cast it. So here's the pattern and colors I'm going for to make coasters. So I use the Cricut to cut the letters out. Then I use some transfer tape to locate the smaller letters and get them in place. And then I added more transfer tape to cover the whole thing. Here's a couple that I've finished. This you can barely see the outline of the plexiglass embedded in there. And this is vinyl. And then I made some for some cousins of my wife's that have beer bottle caps in them. And these I actually used in a polyester resin, and it seems to harden up more. So there's no plexiglass in these. But I really don't like the strong odor of the polyester, so I'm going to stick with the epoxy. So to start, I take one of my molds, I spray them with the mold release spray, and then I mixed up 2 ounces total of the epoxy and poured approximately ½ ounce in each mold, and I've let them set, and they've actually been sitting for probably a week now. Usually just let them set overnight. This one's going to be for my desk at work. I'm going to use 2 ounces of each part for a total of 4 ounces. That'll give me 1 ounce per coaster. So each coaster will use a total of 1.5 ounces of epoxy resin, and I think that plexiglass takes up a little less than ½ ounce. So it's about 2 ounces worth total. And I think it's a good idea to wear gloves when there's potential to get this stuff on your hands. It is a chemical. I do have some bigger ones around, but trying to use these up. Follow the instructions on mixing this stuff. Be as exact as possible in your proportions, and be sure and scrape the sides good, and try and scrape the container all the way around. You gotta mix it very thoroughly. I can still see some swirls in it, so I'll keep mixing. Stuff has a really long work time, so no need to get in a rush. And once I think I have mixed really well, I mix it a little more. Alright, time to get a little messy. This is just ensuring we got epoxy in all the little nooks and crannies. Helps eliminate bubbles underneath the I just kind of push it down and squeeze out everything on the front side, and that helps get most of the bubbles out. Just out from underneath the plexiglass. Work it towards the corners, towards the sides. I guess another way to do it would be to pour your epoxy in there, get rid of the bubbles using heat, and then set your plexiglass in there. Now if you're only using it for cold drinks, you don't really need the plexiglass in my opinion. But I don't see that being the case for me or for my sister, because I know she's a coffee drinker. You know what? I may have to do 2 ounces each. So I'll mix up another 4 ounces. Get these 2 done. Okay, I've got them poured. I've pushed on them a couple times to squeeze all the bubbles out from underneath the plexiglass as much as I can. Now I'm going to take my little torch, and from a distance I'm going to pop the bubbles with some heat. Because this stuff takes so long to set, I like to cover it to try and keep the dust off of it. Next time I'll show how I take them out of the mold, and then I sand them, and then spray them with some clear spray paint.